Hello, JJ's Needful Things is back with a review on Sideshow Collectibles Cad Bane from the Star Wars Clone Wars animated series. Now, the artwork on the box is pretty consistent with some of the previous releases they've had, which has been Anakin Skywalker, Yoda, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I personally, now this is just my opinion, I like the images on the back more, and I think having a cartoon, larger sized image of Cad Bane on the front leaning on the bar with the image that's on the front of the box currently being on the back would be, I don't know, just more fun and just bigger and more vibrant, but there's nothing really to hate here, it's just my personal preference. And here we are with a nice full shot of the figure, and I have to say, I think Sideshow has really delivered with this one. I have purchased probably 5 to 10 Sideshow figures over the years, and I think this one might be my favorite. The last one that I've really loved from them was the Jason figure that they released, which I think they have on pre-order again if you go to their store. But it's like a re-release. It's not like a 2.0, it's just a re-release. But I think they really nailed Cad Bane's look here. They have his outfit, his look. I think this is substantially better than the look of the live action series, but that's just my preference. And then here we have the head sculpts for Cad Bane. And this is Cad Bane to me. He has that little snarl, that kind of furrowed brow, that look in his eyes. His face is more slender. I really didn't like the live action look of Cad Bane, and I'll try not to talk about that anymore, but it's just, he had kind of like a meat wad face. It was really wide, kind of like smushed in, and don't get me wrong, they did their best in that show. I thought it was a fantastic show, but this is Cad Bane to me. Tall, slender, lean, kind of like scary looking. He looks like Slender Man, but also a cowboy. It's awesome. And here we are with Cad Bane's outfit from toe to head, and I think starting at the boots, one thing that I gotta say is I really love the look of them. I think they do have a nice weathered look, and they still keep that animated vibe. There are magnets on it for the thrusters, which is really cool. Magnets work really well. The pants have a great look to them, but the jeans I think are just okay. And on mine, I can't say this is for every one of them. The zipper kept kind of popping open a little bit, which made it look really weird. Love the belt with the ammo on it, and the jacket is really cool. Bracers are great. They have a lot of weathering and like burn marks on them, which is awesome. And again, the head sculpt is fantastic. The leather jacket I'm a little concerned with, and the leather pants, because it's kind of a pleather, and I'm worried that over time this is going to start to break down. So I would keep this out of the sun. Don't let it dry out at all, because it might start flaking. And also the suede underneath. Be careful with that. Here are the thrusters on the side. These fit on magnetically, and I think they're pretty awesome. I have no issues with them.
What's in the box?
So in the box, you're going to get these, I want to say they're relaxed hands, but they also kind of look like pointing hands. There's a lot you could do with these. These aren't just like standard relaxed hands. They're actually kind of cool. You could have him pointing or have his hands out like he's gesturing. These might be closer to what I would say relaxed hands would be. You can fit the hat between the fingers on that one, and also these are the 2 trigger hands, but you could use these to hold the hat as well. I found that these work the best with holding the brim of the hat. And then 2 fists. All these hands look really good. The paint job's great. I have 0 complaints when it comes to the hands. Here are his 2 blasters, which are spot on from the show. They fit in his hand really well. It's very easy to get them in there. It's not a struggle. You don't have to heat up the hands at all, which is something you have to do at Hot Toys. And again, I think they did a fantastic job with the hands. Here are the 2 thrusters that sit on the actual ankles magnetically, and I haven't had any issues with the strength of the magnets. They don't spin around at all. They don't pop off at all. Just be careful when you're putting in the flames. Hold the bottom of the thruster and then use pressure to kind of spin the flames into the actual thrusters. Don't just stick them in there. Here we have Cad Bane's satchel. It's made out of the same sort of suede material that his vest is made out of. It's actually really nice, and it has 2 little magnets under the flap that stick to the bag. I personally really like these. I've had problems with magnets in the past, but with these I don't have that issue. I feel like they're pretty sturdy. And then here we have the star of the show, which is the hat. Paint job is pretty good on it. I would have liked the hat to be a little bit of a deeper brown color, but beggars can't be choosers. The inside of the hat also has a little buffer in there, kind of foam-like material to protect the head sculpt from getting scratched, which is fantastic foresight by Sideshow because people are going to be taking this hat off, putting it back on a lot, and if it damaged the head sculpt, then the figure's gone. So good job on their part. And here we have Cad Bane's droid, Toto360, who I always loved this droid. There's another droid of this nature in the Clone Wars series that's hysterical. But these droids are some of the best in the animated universe, maybe Star Wars altogether. Be careful with the thrusters on these legs. The arms and legs are all very thin. So hold it at the base of the foot, the top of the foot, and just kind of leave a little bit of pressure there as you twist the thrusters in. If you try to push it on the leg without holding the leg, it could snap them. The arms, again, the arms and legs are very thin plastic, and you don't want to damage it. So I love and I hate this stand. For one thing, I wish there was some art on the top of the base of the stand, like Cad Bane art. But I do love how there's a crotch grabber, and there's also the kind of waist clamp that you could use. I personally prefer putting the clamp around the leg and then having his foot in the crotch grabber. This gave me a much more sturdier pose, and then Toto goes on that hook that goes up to the top. There's a little bit of Star Wars stuff on the bottom, but I personally wish there was a little bit more design to it, artistic design.
Eight out of 10. Goes in the living room. Don't know who he is. Can definitely point a gun at anybody who comes into our house. His little snarl.
Yeah, I love the snarl.
It's like, I don't really give a shit about Rick Grimes anymore. Definitely Cad Bane is king.
Okay.
Just because
Can you give me a Kenobi in Cad Bane's voice?
I can do it in Hondo's voice.
Okay.
Kenobi!
And my wife wanted to do her own pose, which ended up being the painting that Michelangelo did on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel called The Creation of Adam. So she wanted to do that with my Obi-Wan and Cad Bane. So first and foremost, kudos to Sideshow Collectibles for giving us the best Cad Bane that's ever existed in 1/6 scale form. What I don't like are the materials that were used. I think design-wise this figure is incredible, but I'm a little worried that the pleather that's being used for the jacket and for his pants, it's going to break down over time. I'm also a little worried with the hat. It's kind of a thin plastic around the brim of the hat. I feel like if it falls once, it could crack the hat. So those are some concerns of mine. I would just say be very careful. This is something that you want to basically like treat like it's a museum piece and leave it in a DTOF case. Don't put it in any compromising situations. With that said, I really, really, really love this figure. I think it might be in my top 5, top 10 favorite figures in my collection at this point. It's one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe. And again, I just want to say, to Sideshow, great job. If they ever do a 2.0, please use the leather or another material. And, just keep on keeping on with these because this is something I'm really enjoying this line a lot. What's my final score? 8.9
Kenobis
out of 10.